Good morning, traders. Happy Monday. Hope you all had a good night and a good weekend. We're going to get started going through the morning gapper watch list here. So we'll jump right in. If you have any questions as we go along, feel free to drop them in the chat and I will answer them as fast as I can. So first gapper on the list is SQBG. Honestly, it's only doing 19,000 volume in pre-market, so it looks a little choppy, so we're just going to skip right over that one. Second one on the list is SCKT. I've been watching this pretty much all morning. I saw a little trade in here on a break of 380 a little bit ago on the 5-minute chart right in here. The risk was kind of wide at 360, so it was like 20 cents of risk, but I skipped it. I didn't think it could make much of a move. It felt a little extended on some of these bigger time frames, so I kind of just watched it go by. And honestly, I'm a little more short biased on this one right now just because of the big extensions on it, on these bigger time frames. Just looking at the 5-minute chart, it looks like if it breaks 370 here, it can maybe flush down to the 350s, which is the best context in the world for a short. But if it can start setting up like a short pattern on the 15-minute chart, maybe through this 340 level-ish, we'll have to see how it sets up. It could flush deeper into this hourly chart down here in the 260s. So short biased on this one. We'll see how it sets up, but I'll keep it on watch into the open here. Next on the list is WHLM. Just at first glance, I don't really like this chart that much. For one reason, it's kind of higher price than I like to trade. I like to stay within $1.10, and this thing tapped 1760 earlier this morning. So to me, this just seems like there's a lot of trap longs up in here. But I'll maybe keep a side eye on it through the open. Let's see if it could maybe. I'd say I'd have to probably reclaim this $10 level to start as like support, or maybe even this $11 area would be better, and then probably break 1250 again. Right here, this resistance. It'd have to break 1250, but that's a wide risk trade, so it'd have to kind of get back up 11, pull back, and like confirm it as support, and then flag through the 1250. Honestly, probably not my favorite trade in the world. I'll probably end up skipping that, but we'll keep an eye on it, I guess. TCRR, another stock that I am short biased on, and I'll probably ignore it because it's a little too expensive. Sorry, my phone's going off in the background. Yeah, a little short biased on this. The extension from the hourly chart is pretty wide. It's tapping that 15-minute chart here, so if it reverses maybe through this 1860 level, it's going to see some downside in my opinion. I wouldn't be longing it up here unless maybe this 1950 level could start holding as support, or maybe even higher because it'd be under VWAP still, and I don't long anything under VWAP. So maybe a 1975 reclaim, and then a re-break of this $20 level could be a long trade in there. But like I said, I'm short biased due to the hourly chart extension. Sometimes these stocks show up on my watch list, or my scanner, these DMYT-WS. I just skip over those. I don't even bother. So next up is SNNS. I already had some levels drawn here, as you can see. I just marked these probably like 20 minutes ago. And so far it's trying to reclaim them, so that is looking good. So for a long trade on this, I'm long biased because it has tapped these bigger charts, these bigger time frames, and now it's climbing back up, which is what I wanted to see. I'd like to see this 0.525 area reclaim as support and hold, and then a re-break of 55 cents. And I typically don't trade sub-dollar tickers, but I like the look of this one, and I may give it a flyer if it sets up the right way, just because all these other time frames are kind of lining up with it. So I'll keep an eye on that one for sure, but I'd like to see it kind of pop up above this 0.525 area, pull back, confirm it as support, and then break 55 cents. That would be a nice tight risk trade on that, so I'm going to keep an eye on that one for sure. I think we went over TCRR already. Mara. So MARA is a crypto-related stock. I'm not sure if you guys all saw, but Bitcoin had some exciting news in that it's holding above the $10,000 level again. So we're getting some crypto-related tickers popping up on our scanner this morning, and MARA is one of them. So I am not short biased on this chart at all. The bigger time frames are caught up, but it has some work to do for a long for me as well. At first, I'd like to see it kind of get back over this 150 level and then break 160. So I'd like to see it kind of pop up, pull back, confirm it as support, and then break through 160. Tight 10-cent risk trade if that sets up. Yeah, I'd be watching that to see if it can pull that off. But just FYI, if it opens strong right at the bell and kind of just breaks through these levels, like without any like pullback or consolidation, that would be considered a chase. I would not trade that way. That's just my personal style. I like to see things kind of set up nice tight ranges and consolidate before breaking those levels. So you got to watch out. Sometimes what I call out these levels, the stocks will just open and break right through them. And I just want you guys to understand that I'm not just chasing these stocks up through the levels I call out. They're more so key levels that I'm paying attention for setups to form around. And I can answer more questions if you have them in chat or whatever, but I just wanted you guys to be mindful of that. SOGO, I had some other levels drawn here that I still believe hold true. I'd like to see it kind of consolidate between the 750, 725 cent range for a long, but honestly, I'm a little more short biased just because the hourly chart extension. So if you look at the 15-minute chart here, it's about to be tested. Honestly, if this thing breaks through 710, it's most likely going to see some downside to the 660s or so. So a little more short bias on that one. But if it can flush that and then reclaim some of these levels, I'd be interested in potentially longing it, but I just have to see it set up. I am short bias for now, though. PDSB, I'll clear these lines. This is another one I'm more so short biased on, just because the extension on the 15-minute chart and the hourly chart. But the fact that it's holding above 440 so far looks good for a long, but like I said, it's got some work to do. Yeah, I wouldn't even be long in this at all. I'm more short biased on this, but some key levels I'd be watching for it to hold would be 440 here for a long, with a break of 460 later down the line. But honestly, it's probably going to flush down, test these bigger time frames, and if it wants to set up long, it's going to pop back up and reclaim these levels. So keep 440, 460 on watch for PDSB. SOGO, pretty sure we just went over that one. CNXM, kind of low volume. I don't know, something about the chart looks funny. If it breaks the 780 level, I can see it flushing a bit to these 730s on the hourly chart, but yeah, I don't like the look of it, so I'd probably stay away. RIOT is another crypto-related ticker, like MARA was. Another one that I am more long biased on than anything, just because of the moves we're seeing in Bitcoin right now. But kind of an ugly chart. It's honestly hard for me to even choose levels on this, but maybe 280 break. And maybe it needs to hold above 270 to get like a 10-cent risk trade, but it needs to pop back up and like pull back and consolidate in that range and then break through 280. That would be like a 10-cent risk, but has some work to do. It needs to get over 270 first and then show us that it can hold its support. OCGN, sub-dollar ticker, right off the bat, not my favorite to trade, but doing decent volume in pre-market, and I like the pattern. If it could, let's see here, reclaim this 0.475 level as support, and then maybe break 50 cents here. That could be a nice trade. Can't mark my levels. There you go. Yeah, it has some work to do, but I like to see like previous resistance become new support. That's basically what I'm looking for, and that would help set off my risk level, and then break that 50-cent level for the flag break, and then it'd be a nice little tight risk trade on there. I'm going to quickly step up the pace a little bit just because we are about 3 minutes and 23 seconds from the bell. So ATNM, another decent looking chart. It's just sub-dollar ticker, so I don't like trading them, but maybe a 64-cent break, risking 62 cents. If it can hold between that range, you get a nice 2-cent risk trade there. Has a little bit of work to do. AMPE has tested all these bigger time frames, so it's looking good for a continuation upward. But honestly, looks a little challenging to choose levels on right now. I'd say maybe a 115 break, risking 110. But yeah, it would need to kind of set up better, and it looks a little low volume compared to the other stocks that we've been looking at. So I'll skip over that one for now. SOHU, kind of low volume. I don't really like the way it looks at all. NMOV, kind of similar. It just looks like low volume. ASM, same thing, although I do like the look on the hourly chart. It looks like it wants to continue. So if it can hold above 110 potentially and break 115, I'll keep an eye on that. But it's super low volume, so if it triggers, it might have some difficulty picking up some volume there, but worth a watch. GNCA, not my favorite looking chart. Let's see how the daily chart looks. It's looking super extended on the daily side. I'm a little bit more short biased on this, and you can see that it had this huge upper wick on the hourly chart, which means there's a bunch of selling pressure in there above this 550 level. So if it breaks above that, it's going to have some trouble even getting going because there's a bunch of sellers in there. So I'd keep this on watch for a short, but there's better short opportunities out there right now than this one, I think, in my opinion. So I'll probably not even watch it too closely, honestly. CAN. Trying to figure out what I think about this one. I like how it's testing the hourly chart. If it bounces and holds, it could look decent if it maybe reclaims this 280 as support level and flags through 285. That could be a nice 5-cent risk trade on that. ACER, I'm looking a little more short biased. It has some extensions on multiple time frames here. The 5-minute, 15, and the hourly once 10 o'clock rolls around. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it through everything I'm watching today. There's some other ones on here too, but out of my wheelhouse. MNRA is $73 a share, and I only trade between 1 and 10. So yeah, that's pretty much it. By the way, I'm going to keep ABUS on watch today too. It had a big move Friday as a short, but I didn't catch it. I'm going to see what it can do and see if it can maybe reclaim the $7 level. But alright, guys. Sorry I had to rush through that, but the bell is going to ring in 7 seconds here, so trade safe today. The Discord channel is in my bio, so join that and answer any questions there.